Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the big show here on Traveling with Bruce. Nice to see everybody here today. It is a Monday, March the 21st, 2022. Can you believe it? We're into the third month of 2022. We're almost out of the third month in 2022, going for the fourth month. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's insanity how time just goes by. It's amazing. It's great to see you folks here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying well and healthy. We're good here in Calgary. Jennifer and I are fine. We're enjoying 51-degree weather today. We're going to enjoy 61-degree weather tomorrow and Wednesday. They promise us we'll take it. This will be the warmest days of the year around here. I'll tell you that. So we're quite happy to see that going on. Those of you who are just joining in, welcome to the channel tonight on the show. Just a heads up for you. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button for us and tell me what number are you on the thumbs up meter. But also check out the poll question tonight. We've got a poll going here. The question is, should all cruises include drinks, tips, and all the food in their fares? So should it just be wide open and one inclusive price for everybody? I've got 18 votes already. We just started like a minute ago. 18 votes are here. 56% say yes, it should be all inclusive. 44% say no. Now it's 58-42. 19 votes are in. I was thinking about this, about how I remember back in 1962. Okay, I remember little tiny things. I was 7 at the time, 7-year-old little punk. My mom and dad and my sister and I, we were on an ocean liner from Europe to Canada. My father had been in the Canadian Army, and as part of the NATO commitment, had been stationed in West Germany, and the tour was up, and we were coming back. My father, my mother, my sister, and I, we were all together for the tour over there. It was supposed to be 2 years, turned out to be 3, and we came back together on an ocean liner, which we had taken. We had taken one over 3 years earlier. But on the way back, on this, I remember snippets of the way back, and I remember how food was included in the cruise. The meals were all breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all provided. I remember what a big deal it was for dinner time. I remember the big deal it was every evening at dinner time. I believe we had the early sitting, probably the 7 o'clock or maybe the 6 o'clock sitting. And because of the fact that I was 7 and my sister was 5. But I remember how my mother was always wearing her best shoes, her best dress. She had several. she was not without fine clothing. My father was always wearing suit and tie, and I had to wear a shirt with a tie on it. And my sister had a lot of nice little dress on. Every night we were dressed up for dinner. But I recall that when it came to ordering the meal, it was usually we would be presented with a menu, and they'd have a kids menu and all that stuff, and everything was great. But my father would enjoy a libation as well as my mother, and they would order a drink from the bar, and they would just sign a little chit, they would just initial a little chit for that, and that would just be added to their account. And I also remember there was one particular day where there were a lot of there was a day where my mother and my sister and I were together, and we ended up somewhere on the ship where there happened to be it was sort of like an ice cream stand of some kind, and they had milkshake. And my mother ordered a milkshake for us. I think it was a strawberry milkshake. It's amazing how you don't forget this stuff. And she said, "You can pay for it." I said, "Oh." And so she gave me a quarter, a Canadian quarter, if I recall, yeah, because we were going to Canada, it was accepting Canadian currency. And I had a Canadian quarter that was this. I swear, the Canadian, these were different in those days because the quarters today are very tiny. They're very small. But at that time, the quarter was the size of the palm of my hand. It's incredible how quarters have shrunk over 50, 59 years of time. It's amazing what's happened to the, with nickel and silver and all that. And I remember handing the gentleman the quarter. And I think now about the fact that my mother bought a milkshake on a cruise ship for 25 cents in 1962. That was an out and out fortune because the similar item in Canada would have cost a dime. But on a cruise ship, on an ocean liner, I want to say cruise ship, but it's an ocean liner, 25 cents for a milkshake. But what she did was she got 3 glasses. She got one for herself, one for my sister, and one for me. We each had a straw, and we shared in those days you used to those tin cups to make those ice cream, those milkshakes with real ice cream and real milk. Yep, way back when. I remember that. That was tasty. But you still paid extra in those days for certain things. It wasn't all inclusive, but the meals were main dining room. Any restaurants on board the ship, any other places to eat were included. And I suspect that tipping might have been still an extra thing. I think you had in those days those little brown envelopes they would give you, and you would put money in the brown envelope and give these envelopes to your room attendant, to the your waiter, to the assistant waiter, and to the captain of the dining room. And I'm trying to remember who else you would give this to, who else you'd give these tips to. It all depended on who else you acted with. I guess interacted with the bartenders, I suppose, and waiters, and perhaps I don't remember. I mean, I didn't do it. I was 7. It wasn't my job, man. But yeah, nowadays nowadays, of course, it's all segmented. It's all different, especially restaurants everywhere. Kind of difficult to. I guess it could be or would not be difficult to have food included. I would imagine though that if you had, say, a cruise ship with 12 different restaurants on board and food was unlimited, I would imagine that if you were on a cruise for, say, a 7-day cruise, that you would be limited to the steakhouse once, and you would be limited to the Italian restaurant once, like each one time. That would be, they keep track of that in the computer system, no problem at all. And I can imagine you can then eat 7 different restaurants or go to the main dining room every time if you want. I would wonder if they could do that. And as far as drinks go, I can see they would use the method that Viking uses, where they provide a selection of red and white wines at dinner and perhaps a selection of beer. So it would be beer and wine and sodas at mealtime, so lunch and dinner. But if you wanted a scotch on the rocks, or you wanted a 12-year-old or 16-year-old, whatever drink, that would be extra. That would be fair. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I wouldn't have a problem being a passenger on a ship knowing that I'm getting my sodas because I'm not a drinker, but Jen is getting her beer and wine, and we're paying the same fare. I wouldn't have a problem with that. If you were having very high-end scotch and champagne, that's extra. That doesn't come out of my dime. That's your dime. I'm okay with that. So anyway, I was curious about that. Anyway, I show right now 43 votes have come in for this poll question. Should all cruises include drinks, tips, and all food in their fares? I like the idea of tips being automatically included. I like the idea of the food thing. And then as far as drinks go, as I say, wine and beer at dinner time, lunch and dinner, and coffees and sodas and whatever you want. Yeah. I can also understand that if they have a specialty restaurant like a Johnny Rockets, the food would be included. But if you wanted the milkshake, that might be a $2 charge because that's a specialty thing. Maybe I'm not sure about cappuccino. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess if they have a Starbucks, I can see that would be an extra branded thing. But a coffee at breakfast time would cost you nothing in the restaurant. I'm wondering about that. Anyway, your thoughts are always welcome. 62% say yes, Bruce. It should be all inclusive. Forget all these extra charges. This is ridiculous. It's just crushing Yes, spa charges and massages are extra. Excursions are extra because not everybody goes on Excursions. Anything you want to buy on onboard stores, that's your nut to crack. Of course, I think that's all cool. But if we could simplify these cruises, I'd be happy too. I'd like that myself. 63% out of 46 votes say yes, Bruce. It should be all inclusive. It'll be a lot simpler. Anyway, that's interesting. Welcome all of you to the show. Lori is here. How do you feel about cruises letting the unvaccinated people on in the future? What about that? I would really like it if they kept it to vaccination or vaccinated people exclusively. I would prefer that. The reason I say it, oh, pardon me. The reason I say it is that from the American perspective, um, cruise ships that leave the United States anywhere in the U.S. go to another country. They either come to Canada and then go to Alaska, or they go to Mexico and back to the U.S., or Mexico to South America, the Panama Canal. You're going to other countries. Out of Miami, you're going to the Caribbean. And I would think that all of these independent countries would feel a lot better if they knew that people on board the cruise ships were all vaccinated. It's one less thing to worry about. I can certainly understand the Cayman Islands position because having lived there myself, when we lived there in 1999, 2000, 98, 1998, 1999, a little bit of 2000, when we were there were 40 to 45,000 people on the island at the time, and there was a main hospital, and then there were sub clinics and hospitals on other parts of the island. Today, there are over 65,000 people on the island, and they could not possibly handle an outbreak of 5,000 cases or 2,000 cases or 500 cases. I mean, it would just overwhelm their ability to cope. So I can understand where they'd be really twitchy about this. Ken, hi, Bruce and Jen from Saginaw, Michigan. The temperature is 40 degrees with rain till Friday. Gasoline $4.14 a gallon. We were number 5. Janet, Ken, welcome, guys, to the channel. Janet, thank you so much for sending me photos all the time. You're always sending me photos, sunsets, and being out there. I love it. Jen and I get a real kick out of it, and we thank you very, very much. Welcome to the channel as always. Jeannie, hello, Bruce and all TWBers. Bill and Jeannie are here for the big show from East Tennessee. Welcome, you guys. And, of course, Sharon is here. Hey, Bruce, long time no see. These folks have, some of these folks, you'll see little logos beside their names. These people are sponsor members of this channel. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Bruce and TW family. Nathan, there's another one. Thanks, buddy. Sharon, I answered your poll question no, simply because I don't think that non-drinkers should be forced to subsidize drinkers. I love the drink packages, but other people shouldn't have to pay for my drinks. I hear you there, and I say that's why I'm thinking, well, if it's included as a beer and wine thing like Viking does, I'm good with it. But whatever. Terry Gallant, hello there. Please send gas money. Would you help me? Help me out, please. Bullcraft Max, hi, Bruce. I hope you're doing well. Doing well. You are amazing, and I always love to see you stream. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that very much. It's good to be here again. Donnell from Cork, Ireland. Buddy, how are you? Hi again, Bruce. I'm number 16. Sweet 16, buddy. Right on. Kevin Chapman, 14 thumbs up. So I'm number 14 here. Not everyone wants to hit the bar. I think tips should be included, but not the premium food and booze. There you go. I'm with you there. I'm on the same page here. Apartment lady for you, number 18. Thank you for letting me know what thumbs up number you guys are tonight. Welcome one, welcome all. Jay Rogers, hey Bruce. Happy Monday to you, Jennifer, and the Travel with Bruce family. Thanks, Jay. Good to see you, pal. Nice to have you here tonight. Terry, offer fares as both all-inclusive and a la carte. We don't drink and we don't do specialty dining, so we'd rather pay a base fare. Oh, a base fare and add internet. See, what I was thinking about is one of the things I was thinking about. If you happen to upgrade the food menu to the way it used to be, so that in the main dining room, you could order every night. You could order filet mignon and lobster tail. You could order clams every night. You could order rack of lamb every night. My thinking is the cruise line would be able to order a huge volume order of this kind of food, get a better price for it, rather than a smaller amount for just a specialty restaurant, which might cost more per pound. But the cruise line can easily absorb that cost inside the fare. They can just make it an all-inclusive fare, and it basically says, "You want to have steak and barbecued shrimp every night? You've paid for it. You want a cheeseburger and fries? You've paid for it too." But what I don't like is getting on a cruise ship and finding out that really my menu now is really a Denny's kind of menu. It's not exclusive like it used to be when it was ocean liners and early days of cruising. It's changed now and it's gone cheap, cheap, cheap. I don't like to pay $50 for an extra for a meal per person. I find that to be a bit much. John, hello everybody. Hey John, Roger, Fiber, Gal. I don't know what this means. I don't understand. Lance, good day, Bruce. Finally, cruising is coming back to Australia. Yes, it is. Alan, hi, Bruce. I'm glad to be back viewing your live stream after a year. My 15-year-old son has been giving me too many restless nights. Well, hopefully he'll sleep well now. How about including the cruise photos for free? It's all digital anyways. Oh my God. Getting photos done on the ship, man. You're obviously paying for the eye, the person with the camera, but yikes, it's a profit center. They're never going to give that up. They had that in the 50s too. Believe me, it was in the 50s. Lee, number 11 tonight, 77 degrees in Boca Raton, gas $4.39 a gallon. Wishing you well. Thank you, Lee. Thank you for joining me tonight, my man. Rocky, hi, Bruce. We had very nice weather today, low 70s, 63 right now in Chesapeake, here in southeastern Virginia. Gas, $4 a gallon. I'm thumbs up number 10. Thank you, sir. Ed Tolston, welcome, Ed Tolston. How you doing there, buddy? Kit Kat, speaking of tips, should you tip your server at each meal if you're on a ship where you have a different server all the time? I can tell you that if you are a cruise ship passenger, you're going into the main dining room, and you get a different waiter all the time. The mandatory gratuity charge, or that so-called gratuity fee that's added to your room rate every day, he's getting a cut of that. All the waiters are, and all the associate waiters and the captains and the bartenders and the waiters and waitresses are all over the ship. They're all getting a piece of that action. So it adds up. Sharon, I would be in favor of tips being included. That would make life a lot easier. Kirk from the Big Apple is in the house. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hey, buddy, thank you for being here. Lee, do you have an opinion about cruise planners that charge a fee? Okay, cruise planners that charge a fee. Well, some of them, what they'll do, it depends on what cruise I guess you're on. There are the groups that'll come. It'll be like a church group. There might be 20 people in the group, and there are two people from the church who are with the group of 18, for instance, and one of the two is a nurse, and one might be the pastor from the church, or might be a coordinator of said event. Those folks get a cabin on the house from the cruise ship line for booking a bunch of cabins, so that's automatic. Now, I've looked into booking a cruise, group cruises, and have had them canceled, unfortunately. And the cruise line will say to me, based on how many people you have coming, how many cabins you book, you get perks, and those perks you can pass on to your people, and that's what I would have been doing with my group. They would have maybe have received a welcome basket of some kind in their cabin, or we would have had a special get together on the ship where refreshments and snacks would be part of the equation and what have you. But then there are those who, they organize cruises and they work at that. They get a commission. To each his own. I mean, buyer beware. And, if you're happy being part of a group, you're part of a group, Tim, I'm number 32. Bruce, welcome, Tim, to that. Thank you. Kevin, extra charge for the specialty restaurants siphons people away from the free food options, making the main dining room less crowded, which is a win-win for those who don't want to pay the extra charge. I understand that, but the problem is that the especially restaurants, are now offering the kind of food, for example, Italian restaurant, the steakhouse, they're offering the kind of food that used to be in the main dining room. It's no longer in the main dining room. So the main dining room has gone down in the quality of the fare. And if you want the same quality you used to get in the main dining room back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you now have to go to specialty restaurants and pay much, much more. But what can I say? Ben, welcome, buddy. Thank you for your work. Thank you so much for that. Sylvia, hi there. Doing there, Sylvia? Ed, hi there. No time to see. How are you doing? No time to see. Long time. Sharon, Kevin Chapman, English chit chat. Enough chit chat. You have a book to finish. There's no mercy in that. Huh? Sylvia, number 37 is what my number is. Lavela, Sharon, you cracked the whip on Kevin. Oh my gosh. Sharon, Sylvia, someone's got to crack the whip on this guy. Sue is here. Sue Turanin Alexander, how are you? I have a fully vaccinated friend on the Grand Princess right now, quarantined to a cabin, diagnosed a few days into the 15-day cruise. Does anyone know how? Does anyone on that? Does anyone know anyone on that ship right now? Does anyone know anyone on the Grand Princess right now? Anyone? Let us know. Tim, I'm in favor of all-inclusive fares except for specialty restaurants and high-priced drinks. The problem is not every cruise line will do it, which makes fare comparisons difficult. You are correct, sir. That is correct. Sharon Allen, I remember when your baby was born. Welcome back. Eddie, they are hungry for money. Hit the passenger, not fare. Pleasant in Charlotte, North Carolina right now, $3.99 for regular gas. Right on, Eddie. Welcome, buddy. I'm number 41. Hit that like button, guys. I'm number 41. Thank you, buddy. Stephen Butler, hello from Arkansas. I was actually number 2 prior to the show, but had a phone call a few minutes before the show started, so I'm jumping in now and I'm listening. Welcome, Steve Butler. I'm glad you're here tonight. Lance, have a great show. Bruce, thank you so much, Lance. Rocky, I'm not in favor of including drinks, tips in specialty restaurants. Yeah. Linda, hi, Bruce. Good to be back after 6 months. Welcome back, Linda Johnson. Kit Kat, thank you. Very helpful information. Sharon, Kit Kat, if a particular server gives you great service, you can hand him or her a couple of dollars in cash. That does not have to be shared. That's direct for them. I can always do that. Ann Rogers. Hi, Bruce. Ann and Brent in Ancaster, Ontario. It's 12 degrees right now. Sunny. Gas is 169.9 a liter. And we're thumbs up number 15 and number 41. Right on. Sharon, 61 viewers and only 45 thumbs ups. Step it up, people. Sharon's no mercy from Sharon tonight. Bruce, did you see the graph that Tony from Lalita Loca showed about how many people have the virus? I like that graph. I have not seen that. I'll have to take a look at that. Nikki, greetings from Jacksonville, 66 degrees right now. Sandy, welcome, Sandy Robinson. Good evening, TWB family. Sunny and 10 degrees here in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Hope everyone is doing well. Eddie, all-included fares make sense. No more adding this and that to getting the best fare. Sylvia, the virus on cruise ships. Oh my! I prefer one price covers everything. Easier to plan for, says Steve Butler. There you go, Ed. Hey there, Sylvia. Louise Lanthier is here. Hi, Bruce. I am being quiet this evening. I'm about to serve Jerry some leftover Swiss chalet. There right on. Jerry is a lucky man, as always. Welcome, Louise, to the show. I'm glad to have you here. Bit of cruise news for you tonight that I came up with. Apart from what we've been talking about already, I noticed that Royal Caribbean, they've announced that they're going to reposition. They're going to reposition the Radiance of the Seas. They're not going to leave her in. They're not going to sail her in Australia this year. That had been planned, but that is now out. The Radiance of the Seas is now going to be sailing the Caribbean from October to April. She's going to be working the Caribbean from October of this year to April next year. So they have not announced another ship to go into Australia at this time. We're waiting to see if anything comes of that. Carnival. Got some news on the Carnival. The Carnival Sensation. The Carnival Sensation is one of the old Carnival ships that originally didn't have any balconies. If so, they had a few in the back. That ship is now headed to the scrapyard to join basically most of the other old Carnival ships that came out in the 90s. These were the ships that were brand new with atrium balconies and glass elevators. but they didn't have balconies. They hadn't designed that yet into the cruise business. That came out around 98 to 2000 is when cruise ships began to appear with all these balconies on the sides of the ships. The old these Carnival ships were about 2,000 passenger ships, 2,200, 2,500. They had a gigantic deck long, practically pool deck with several pools and lots of teak up there and lots of chairs. And they had the at the top of the ship, they had the walkway. You could walk all the way around and look out over the sea and look down at the people down below. These were cutting edge design ships when they were created. They were a brand new thing. These ships basically were designed as simply vacation cruise ships. They were not designed for ocean going, wintertime sailing in the North Atlantic. Not like that at all. They were not insulated for that. They held they held as many passengers as, say, the Queen Mary or the Queen Elizabeth could handle. But they were not ocean liners. They were purely Caribbean, Mexico, Panama Canal type cruiser ships. And this one, unfortunately, is headed, well, fortunately, unfortunately, it's got to go to the scrapyard. The reason it's getting scrapped is multiple reasons. Economics, the ship doesn't work anymore. Number two, no balcony suites. You get coronavirus on board, you got a problem. Three, the ships built in the 90s had the older engines and they had the old fuel systems to use the cheaper fuel. And most cruise ports in the world have already shifted and are shifting away from allowing ships into their ports that burn the cheap bunker fuel kind of thing. So that black soot coming out of those gigantic whale funnels, not acceptable anymore. Now, this ship may have installed scrubbers 5, 6, 7 years ago. They may have done that to make it a cleaner burning ship, but even with that, it's not enough anymore. They're just not economic. And at 50% capacity, 60% capacity, these ships are not paying because you cannot charge top dollar to the passenger anymore for this kind of ship. They won't pay it. They want a balcony. 85% of the ship's cabins nowadays are balcony cabins. And so you can't convert these. So they're done. And let's face it, a 1990 ship in 2022 is a 32-year-old ship. The refurbishments have been done every 5 years. They've refurbished them, but you know what? You can't keep it up anymore, unfortunately. Now, other news from Carnival comes out of Germany. The Meyer Werft shipyard in Germany, in New Poppenberg, I believe it's called, or Poppenberg, Germany, I believe. They just started building the latest version of the Carnival mega ship. This one is the Jubilee. So they've got the Mardi Gras. They got the Carnival. What's the other one called? The Carnival Celebration, and now the Carnival Jubilee is the third in a series. Liquid natural gas burning ship for very low emissions. 20 decks, 5,000 plus passengers, roller coaster at sea, all that stuff. This ship will be sailing its first cruise October 30th, 2023. Can you believe it? They're just starting to build her now. But I can assure you that this ship has already been built in segments all over the place, and they're just being brought together to Poppenberg to assemble it like a giant Lego system. Meccano set, a gigantic Meccano set. The ship, the Jubilee, will be based out of Galveston, Texas. This is going to be Galveston's pride and joy, this ship. The newest, latest, greatest Carnival ship out of Galveston for all those Texans down there, all those folks who are driving down to Galveston to go on a one-week cruise. That should be one popular vessel out of Galveston for sure. So there you go. The first cruise is October 30, a 18-night trip, 18-night sail from Southampton to the U.S. And then in November 23, the ship will start sailing out of Galveston. Way to go, Galveston. That's a great catch. Final piece of news looks like is a little update from Norwegian. Someone mentioned the Norwegian Escape cruise ship. That was the ship that ran aground last week. It was stuck in the sandbar in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. That was on March 15th, and the next two sailings have been canceled for that ship. All the passengers, once they got the ship off, they inspected it. They found some damage. They canceled the rest of this cruise. They flew everybody home from Dominican Republic back to the U.S. They did have some issues because there were some folks on board the ship who didn't have a passport. And if you are an American and you are taking a cruise that starts in the U.S. and ends at the same port in the U.S., you don't necessarily need a passport. We Canadians can't believe it. we can't believe it. We just amazed that you go to other countries during the trip and you don't need a passport. But it's all pre-cleared. In any event, these Americans who didn't have a passport, they needed extra consular help, which they were able to coordinate, and eventually got everybody back to where they came from, I guess, to Florida, and then get them home. In the meantime, the ship is now has landed now in Port Canaveral. Excuse me, it's in Port Canaveral, and they're doing some repairs. They say it's light repairs to the ship. So I'm not even sure. I don't think the ship's coming out of the water. There is no dry dock that I'm aware of in Port Canaveral. So I suspect that the ship is being serviced in the water for whatever issue there is. Hopefully that'll be all right. And that's the latest on that ship. So the March 19th cruise is canceled. That's the latest one that's canceled. That's a 1 week or so. This ship will be back in business the 26th, I guess, of March. That's in 5 days. So whatever repairs won't take long. I'm sure the cruise line had long arranged. The minute they knew what the damage was, the word went out to specialists who would repair this damage, and they were waiting for that ship to arrive with their equipment to make repairs of that ship, whatever's necessary. So they'll get a Coast Guard inspection when it's done, and then they'll be given the green light to sail again. And that's the news of the day that I have from the cruise line business. I had heard something about, as some of you have already heard, about the lessening of protocols by the CDC for cruise ships. They were a level 4, then the level 3, now they're a level 2. And apparently one of the changes they're making, and to the viewer that asked if we know anybody on the one Princess cruise ship, if you are now tested on board the ship with 36 hours to go or less before the ship returns to its home port at the end of the cruise, you do not have to be moved out of your cabin. You can stay in your cabin. You don't have to go to a special isolation cabin. So that's one of the restrictions that has been eased up on. So 36 hours or less, a day and a half or less to go, and you get tested and you're positive, you can stay in your cabin. You're still restricted to your cabin, but you don't have to move cabins. So that's another little easing up on the whole thing. We'll see how it all works out, kids. We'll figure it out. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Long day for this guy. Here we go. Kit Kat is saying, thank you, Sharon. I have a cruise coming up in May, and I want to be sure I'm tipping appropriately. Andrew is here. How you doing, buddy? Hi, Bruce. We are excited. For me and my sister and her husband and some of her friends, we are having 5 days until our first cruise on board the NCL Breakaway this Sunday. Oh, that's great. We're leaving out of New Orleans. Beautiful. Way to go, man! That'll be great. Way to go! Way to go, Kirk. I have a cave. I have a cove balcony on the Carnival Magic. Does anyone know about the cove balconies? Kirk wants to know. Question: what do you know about the Erican app, and specifically the requirements around having a 14-day quarantine plan for visitors? We're cruising out of Vancouver in June. I think that is all gone now. I think that is being waived. Coming into Canada, you don't need to have a test anymore starting April 1, which is great to hear. And you don't have to be quarantining anymore. Andrew, have a great trip. We're cruising on the breakaway in May. First time on the breakaway. Traveling Hawk. Yes, it is. Can't wait for Jubilee. Right on. Connie, I know exactly what you're talking about. The old Carnival ships. Girls Vacation, the fun ship. The Carnival ships. Good memories and pictures. So lucky to go. Nancy, hi Nancy Hinson. Food and tips. Not everyone wants to drink, so you can pay as you go if you want extra. There you go. Nancy, not everyone can get vexed because of allergies or vaxxed. Jazzin, single. Hey, Uncle Bruce, love you. Number 22 from around Georgian Bay. Oh, hello. I now have a TFSA full of SoFi, Rocket Lab, and Matterport waiting patiently to write. You gave me the confidence. Thanks. Hope to be a member sometime. Well, thank you, Jazzin, for being here today, popping in from the other channel. It's nice to have you here. Eddie, did you talk about Carnival bringing back full muster drills? I may have missed it. I've not heard anything about this. Mama Mac, does NCL latitude status have anything to do with how the upgrades are awarded? Are the ambassadors awarded first and then so on, or is it random? Thank you. Can't answer that question directly. Now, if Tom Henry was here tonight, he might have the answer for something like that. You might want to pop over, Mama Mac, you might want to go over to Facebook. Look up my Facebook group page, Traveling with Bruce. Pop the question on that page of mine. You may find that Tom Henry gives you a reply in the next day or two. He's always watching that stuff. You never know. But if anyone else knows the answer to this question for Mama Mac, do let us know. I don't have the answer of this specific question. Okay, there you go. Thank you all for popping in. Now, how are we doing on this poll question? Oh, look at that. We have 60 thumbs ups, which is great. Keep them coming in, guys. Thank you for hitting that thumbs up button. We have 73 people who've answered the poll question, which is great. Should all cruises include drinks, tips, and all food in their fares? Should that be part of the fare when you buy it? 70% of you are saying yes, it should. 30% saying no. Now, I suspect that those who are saying yes, I'm guessing, are thinking along the same lines that I am, and Sharon is thinking, and others are thinking, that specialty drinks you pay for as an extra charge, but beer and wine at dinner might be okay. I'm not sure if Sharon completely agrees with me, but she might. In any event, that's how it's going. Well, that poll question's coming along really well. Thank you, everybody, for answering it. Stephen Stair, question here. Hi, Bruce. We got off the horizon the 13th after 8 days. So that was now 8 days ago. We were triple vaccinated, wore our mask indoors, and still got the bug. So obviously no unvaccinated people should be allowed on. There you go. Isn't that something? You still got the bug, triple vaccinated. The hope I have, Steve, I'm crossing my fingers, that you're not feeling too bad, that you're okay physically. Let me know how you're doing. Alan Carter, I'm number 61, Bruce. Thank you, Alan Carter, for thumbs up 61. Sharon, hey, I'll never complain about beer and wine. Sharon sounds like the perfect Viking cruiser to me. Yes, indeed. I think that, now correct me if anyone can, if I'm wrong or not, but isn't Celebrity now gone the one fair thing? Haven't they gone right across the board? Drinks like beer and wine and soda at dinner time, and meals are included. Or am I missing something on the Celebrity thing? I thought Celebrity went with a one fair price, like a set price, depending on the cabin you have, obviously, for your cruise with no extra charges. It included tipping, included drinks, coffee, meals. Let me know if I'm missing something on that celebrity link on that one, okay? Because I think that covers celebrity for now, that they've adopted this policy now going forward. I think that's the deal. Let me know. Has any of you been noticing on the Instagram? I don't know if any of you do this, but on Instagram, I get Captain. What's her name from Celebrity? That the female captain that used to be the captain of the Apex. She's now going to be the captain of the Celebrity Beyond, and she's doing a ton of Instagrams about almost daily updates on how the Beyond is being fitted out. It's on its last 10% of fitting out, getting ready to cruise. She's going to be captaining that ship. Those are pretty cool. I commend her. She does excellent work with this. Sharon, I think so with Celebrity, and Norwegian has several all-inclusive cruises, including alcoholic beverages and a limited amount of specialty dining. Yeah, I think they've kind of backed off on that too, though. It's not as generous as it used to be. I think I heard that from Tom Henry. Yeah, Captain Kate. Yeah, Captain Kate does a really good job on the Instagram pages, where she does almost, to say, 4 updates a week, maybe 5. Yeah, Chantel L. Captain Kate, I'm number 12. Thank you, Chantel, for being here. Nathan, yeah, Captain Kate McCoo. She does really good work, doesn't she? And I think she has a YouTube channel too, if I'm not mistaken. I think she has a YouTube channel, but I know she does really good Instagram stuff, which I watch from time to time. So more power to her. Ann Rogers, yes, Celebrity is all inclusive with the classic drink package, etc. Especially restaurants are extra, though. So the specialty restaurants are extra. The drinks are included. Are the tips included in Celebrity for that, or is that still extra? Because I wonder if meals are included at, they'd obviously be included in the main dining room, but if drinks are included, then tipping is included in the daily surcharge, or is that included in the fare as well? Does anyone know that for me about Celebrity? Let me know. Together We Travel. Welcome. Hello there, everybody. Nice to have you here. Welcome to the show. Tim Bowman, All America has the Have It All fare for including drinks and sometimes gratuities and shore excursions. We've used it recently. Interesting. That's an interesting thing. Tips and Wi-Fi are included, Anne says, with regards to Celebrity. So it includes your specialty drink package, a classic specialty drink package, Wi-Fi, and tips. But special restaurants are still an extra charge, which, okay, I can see that, I guess. Right on. Would make sense that, the steakhouse would be extra and the, Asian fusion or whatever you're going for is extra. Makes sense, I suppose. Very good. Very good. Very good. I like the notion of that. For some reason, I like the notion of having that all, as one. But again, it's up to you to decide which cruise line fits your style and fits your activity level that you like and the itineraries, of course. Tim, also Wi-Fi is included in the Have It All. Right on. Eddie, there are current options, all in or not. Look at cruises only. Interesting. And OBC also include onboard credit is also included in the all-inclusive thing. Okay, right on onboard credit. Very, very, very good. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I remember talking about onboard credit. I was remembering there was one time I was on a ship and I needed some cash and I didn't want to use the onboard ATM machine because it had a high user fee, and I had heard that what you do if you need cash on board a cruise ship, what you would do, and I don't know if this is current anymore, but what you would do is you would go to the casino, and now this is about 5-6 years ago. You put your room card in a slot machine, and you hit up, say, $50 credit or something like that on a nickel machine or something like that, and a $50 credit would show up, and you play a hand, and then you hit the cash out button, and you'd get out a printed ticket, a ticket with 49.90 on, or whatever the amount was on that ticket, and you would take the ticket to the cashier at the casino, and they would pay you in cash, and now you have $49.90 in cash. And if that's all you needed, you're good. If you needed more than that, you would rack up $100 on your on a slot machine, play a hand or something like that, and then just cash that one in, or cash in 3 or 4 a night. Two or three $50 ones, or one or 100 here, 100 here, no, 50 there, 250 in cash. You'd walk out with cash, $250. It would be charged to your room account on your credit card, but it wouldn't be a cash advance. It would be a room charge, and that was a handy way to do it. Eddie, we got 900 onboard credit for a 7-day sailing. That was unreal. That would be unreal. What are you going to spend it on? I would now consider maybe a massage for myself, and maybe Jennifer wanted one. You could certainly go to the specialty restaurants without question now, and enjoy some specialty drinks and all the lattes you can consume. I don't think you can use the credits in the casino, though. I could be wrong. I wish you could, because then you could turn it into cash. At least you used to be able to do that. But wow, 900 onboard credit for a 7-day cruise. Well, that would be shore excursions, and yeah, and of course you could buy booze on board the ship to take off the ship with you, duty free, if it's a good price. Yeah, that's that. You got to use that up. You got to use it up. Casino and specialty. Hey, if you can use it for casino and specialty, right on. What's wrong with a $900 casino credit? Knock yourself out, especially if you can turn it into cash. Yeah, not bad if that's what you have in mind. Interesting, very very interesting. Hadn't it's that's not often that you get that kind of a credit for just a 7-day cruise. It's usually you're looking at a couple $100, which you can eat up pretty quickly. But right on, room service to the room, and you bet. Get your hair done. Your wife can get a manicure, pedicure. I mean, those are expensive on board. And then, of course, they try to upsell you and all that stuff, right? They try to get you to buy all their goodies. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Well, there you are, everybody. Let's take one more look at this poll question. How are we doing now? We have 67 thumbs ups. Thank you guys for hitting those thumbs up button for me. Keep them coming in if you can. There are 80 of you here. If you're able to give us a thumbs up, we'll get closer to this $100 level. For the thumbs up meter, we got 68 now, so 32 to go. Now, the poll question, 87 of you have responded. Should all cruises include drinks, tips, and food in their fares? 71% are saying yes, Bruce. I think they should have a one fare for the whole thing. 71% think that's a good idea. Only 29% are saying no. Very decisive poll tonight. There leaves a little doubt what the majority are thinking about. 88 respondents now. We have 70 thumbs up. Guys, thank you for 70 thumbs up. Only 30 left to get to the magical 100 level. Thank you all so much for getting us up there to number 70 already. This is great. Thank you for answering the poll question. 88 respondents, 72 to 28. Yep, it should be all inclusive. Please make it just one big fat fare, and we can compare all these cruise lines and figure it out. Yeah, not bad. Thank you all for participating in the poll, and thank you all for coming by and seeing me for the big show this week. Thank you for being here. Jennifer and I are plotting right now, just so you know, we are plotting a European holiday for the two of us. We are here in Calgary in a friend's house. We're house sitting this gigantic 3,500 square foot home. For just the two of us. We're in this house for nothing. We're doing it for free. We're not charging, and we're not being charged. We're going to be here till the end of, until about the first week of May, roughly. And we are now plotting a getaway from Calgary to Europe. And the plan is to fly to Heathrow and to visit the United Kingdom for about 10 to 12 days, I think. And then we're trying to get to Amsterdam. And we might end up going from Edinburgh to Amsterdam via a plane ride, something that simple. 4 or 5 days Amsterdam, and then a plane ride to Zurich, Switzerland, and 1 month in Switzerland. And we're thinking about the idea of Airbnb 4 different locations, 1 week each in 4 different areas of Switzerland, renting a car for maximum flexibility for the month, and going where we want, when we want, not going where we want, when we don't want. Raining today, we're not going anywhere. That kind of stuff. Where I can still do my work here. I can still do what I do here. I can make videos for Traveling with Bruce, and I can do my work on my other channels, Stock Markets with Bruce, where I talk about the stock markets in plain English. Love to do that work from Switzerland on an ongoing 1 full month basis. We did I found a little surprise the other day. I was pleasantly surprised. I was looking up the idea of how to do the flights from Calgary, Alberta, here in Canada, to the UK, London, and then finding a way home from Zurich, Switzerland. And I found out by fluke, I had no idea. I happened to ask the search engine I was using for a flight home from Zurich. I figured I would get a combo flight, one flight to Heathrow and then from Heathrow back to Calgary. And lo and behold, one of the options it gave me was you can fly to Heathrow on one airline, and you can fly from Zurich to Calgary nonstop, direct, on another airline. And I never knew we could do that. And it turns out that the airline is called Edelweiss, which is 50% owned by Swiss Airlines and 50% owned by Lufthansa. And this is a holiday airline. They do seasonal trips. And into Calgary, Alberta, Canada, they fly 3 months a year, June, July, and August. And I thought, well, holy moly macaroni, we can fly from Zurich to Calgary in one plane, 10 straight hours, nonstop. And I checked out some videos about Edelweiss on this particular flight. It was great. It looks great. It looks fantastic. That was an interesting discovery, I have to admit. So we're looking into this now as another possibility that we might work it that way. So the hope was that we would do a series of cruises in Europe this summer. I was hoping that Jennifer and I would be in Europe for up to 3 months. And in that time frame, that we would be able to do a cruise in the Mediterranean, a river cruise, and then a Scottish Isle cruise, along with land-based travel. But Jennifer, she needs a new hip. She's wearing those high heels and doing all those photo shoots has finally caught up to her, and so she needs a new hip. But she'll be her usual self once it's done. The problem, of course, is that in Alberta and anywhere else in North America and probably Europe, a lot of surgeries have been postponed because of the virus, and so many hip operations are delayed and have not been done the last 2 years that need to get done. So Jennifer's got to get in line. Now, the good news is that here in Alberta, the government has stepped up spending on healthcare because the oil money is coming in. This is oil country where we live. And so the budget for this province is doing really well. And so they're throwing more money to catch up on elective surgeries, hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder surgeries, and all that other stuff. And so now the hope is that Jennifer can get treated and looked after in the not too distant future. But we are certain that between May and the end of June, there'll be no way we're going to get her in that quick. I figure it's at least a year. So she's not too keen on walking too much. She's not too keen on being in big crowds right now because of the new variants that are showing up. She would like to be at a holiday, but she'd like to be where it's just the two of us and it's not so crazy crowded. Well, this is why renting a car in the month of June for Switzerland and staying in 4 Airbnbs where we have the entire apartment to ourselves, let's say, instead of being in a hotel all the time and through hotel restaurants and lobbies every day, every meal, we would be alone more often than not. This is something that appeals to her. So a cruise is out. That's the problem. That too many people. We don't want to get the bug, and Jennifer doesn't want to have underlying issues to deal with. So that is being plotted here. We're now plotting this idea of this kind of a trip. Now, let me just say I had a few people here. Arc Adventures is here. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. We just got off the Mardi Gras last week for the second time. That must have been a good time. Have a great night, everyone. Sharon, you take care. Good. And T, nice house. Hey, Bruce, do you have any cruises planned this year? Not yet. Stephen, American Cruise Lines is the pretty much one price: food, beer, wine, entertainment, gratuities, and excursions. Hard liquor, you have to make arrangements with the manager. To get together, we traveled. We have 800 onboard credit for a 7-day cruise, also on Carnival Celebration in December. Hello, Arc Adventures. Ray Young booked on the Carnival Princess, Panama Canal, San Francisco to Fort Lauderdale, April 26th to May 14th. That'll be nice. Stephen, there are fees on American Cruise Lines for premium excursions. Michelle, Lucas, Jennifer, keep dreaming of more stilettos. There you go. Louise, can you talk for another hour so I can cook while listening to Bruce? I can talk. I don't want to talk that long, but I was going to say that the other thing we're thinking about is how to get from London in the UK to Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I've been looking up YouTube videos about the idea of a sleeper train. They have the Caledonian Sleeper, I believe, is one of them. And I took a look at some videos about this, and I found that if we were younger and more agile, this would really be a cool thing to try. The problem for the two of us is that we're not as flexible as we used to be. And with Jennifer and her hip issues, it's just not going to fly. It's not going to work too well. The likelihood is that we will probably fly up, although we are looking at the idea of a high-speed daytime rail trip. I'd like to take one of those because of the scenery. Of course, you're gambling. You're crossing fingers that the day your train trip is happening, it's a clear, sunny day. That's what you're hoping for, that, and it's not raining and foggy all the way up. But we're thinking, well, we might end up doing a rail trip up there. I don't know if we would go beyond Glasgow or Edinburgh and go further north, like to Aberdeen. If we were going to do that, London to Aberdeen, we'd fly. That would be a flight. We might train it back, perhaps a slow boat back, stop in Glasgow a couple days and then Edinburgh a couple nights, and then fly from Edinburgh to Amsterdam, which is our next stop. And we'll do 4 or 5 days in Amsterdam, enjoying the city there a little bit, and then fly from Amsterdam to Zurich. We had looked at the idea of taking a train from Amsterdam to Zurich via France, where we would stop via Paris. We'd stop in Paris, do a 3-4 hour, I think it's a 4-hour train ride from Amsterdam to Paris, spend a couple nights in Paris, and then continue a rail journey to Zurich for a 4-hour train trip to Zurich. Again, both would be daytime travels, hopefully with good weather, to see the sights. We don't know. An Amsterdam to Zurich flight is 130 one-way Canadian. You can't beat that. That's Swiss Air. I mean, that's just, So hour and 15 minutes and you're there, And now you have, as Jennifer said, look, if we left we had 11 o'clock flight, we'd be up at, 7, 8 by breakfast. We'd be at the airport by 8:30, 9 o'clock, get on that flight by 11, and then be in Zurich at noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock, be in the hotel at 2 or 3, no problem, We haven't lost a day. I thought that makes sense. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about these ideas. I've been looking into Euro rail passes. I've been looking into like a combination rail pass that would encompass. We thought first that we would take London to Amsterdam by the Channel. We would do the Eurostar rail under the Channel and end up in Amsterdam. That's 3.5 hours or so. And then we would do a train ride ultimately to Zurich in whatever combination. And then from Zurich, we would take train rides throughout Switzerland to do a train tour, stopping for a few days here and travel on, stopping for a few days. And if so, if we were to do that, we could get a Eurorail pass, one of these, 10 days of traveling in 2 months. So out of a 60-day window, you can ride trains for 10 days. Unlimited travel, second class or first class, depending on which ticket, which version of the pass you get. And if you do enough train travel in that 10-day time frame, in those allowable it more than is a bargain. I mean, it is a deal because you buy these individual travel tickets one by one, you're paying top dollar. Now, if you're doing a Euro rail pass, you're down to half the price, maybe less. We would go first class, certainly, but I don't know if that's going to work with Jennifer's hip. We're, having the car, you can get a pillow to sit on or angle it, and you could have, I can have something under her feet inside the car to lift her feet up for relief if there's pain relief needed, or we can adjust the back of this car seat, adjust the lower part of the seat. This is the advantage of a vehicle. It's more expensive, no doubt about it, but it's all about surviving as seniors to travel comfortably, to enjoy a 4-hour car ride today or 2 hours to get to where we're going, spend a few hours where we are, 2 hours to come back. You don't want that to be an excruciating day. And I don't want a scenario where Jennifer, for 2 days after a trip like that, is incapacitated with pain. Don't want that, because now you've lost 3 days to do a one-day trip. That's not very efficient. So having a vehicle, driving to spas in Switzerland, where you specifically are going to go into the mineral waters, those magical healing mineral waters, with those, spa treatments and what have you. I'm thinking this is the way to do Switzerland, man. We got chocolate, we got Swiss cheese, we got spas, we got the Alps, we got some cable car rides, we got pretty photos, we got a nice little series of trips here. I'm thinking this might be the way to go, and so we'll see what happens and how it all comes together. So I'm scheming right now. I am working. I don't know where to stay in London. Does anyone have a suggestion of what hotel should we stay at in London? I'm not looking for a cheap hotel. I'm not looking for the most expensive hotel. I'm looking for a 5-star luxury accommodation for a 3.5-star price. Or I'm looking for a surprise, a London hotel that's opened in the last few years, that is cutting edge and has a really, really great bathroom. Maybe comes with a soaker tub or a jacuzzi tub for Jennifer. Maybe something like that, rather than a cheap bed and breakfast hotel. And we're not in need of that. It's just a matter of what can we put together. And then, of course, accommodation suggestions in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Anyone have any suggestions? Love to know that. So we're trying to piece it all together. Where should we stay in Amsterdam? What would be a fine hotel for a senior couple to spend 4 or 5 nights in Amsterdam at, where it's good service, really clean rooms, centrally located? What hotel should we look at? Should we look at the Hilton? Should we look at a Sofitel? Anybody know? Let me know. Anyway, we're just thinking. We're just scheming. We're open to suggestions. There you go. It's called Traveling with Bruce, and Bruce wants to go traveling. So help us out. Absolutely. Um, anyway, there you go. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Who else is here? Arc Adventures saying hi to Together We Travel, saying hi to those guys. Louise, I was just kidding. I just thought of new things to cook. Michelle, hi from AZ. Biscuit Boy Randy needs double knee replacement. Oh man, Arizona, he needs double knee replacement. Yep, yeah, living hard, playing hard. There it gets you, boy. Ark, Bruce, we've been away a while. Where are you guys nowadays? We are in Calgary, Alberta. We're in a friend of ours' house, a 3,500 square foot house in a beautiful neighborhood here. We're house sitting for them. We're here for nothing until about first week of May. So we're loving it. A Miller, we did a sleeper from Munich to Rome. Not bad at all. A sleeper. Desiree, hey there, Bruce. How's everything? I just got back yesterday off the Norwegian getaway. How was that? Desiree, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Cloud 7 Travel. Hi, Bruce. I'm like number 84 thumbs ups right now, buddy. I'm also in Calgary, so you know we are having a great weather here. We got 2 days coming up. The whole city is buzzing about it. The whole city is all jacked up. 61 degrees the next 2 days. The beer gardens are open. People will be looking for driving ranges to hit golf balls on. Oh, we're gearing up, boy. I'll tell you right now, we're gearing up. Rocky, check out Saturday Night Live's Jennifer Aniston lookalike contest on YouTube. Okay. Stephen, yes, Bruce, 5 days in bed and feeling pretty good now. Stephen, welcome back. A Miller, you have to do Lucerne in Switzerland. It's so beautiful. Well, this is what I need to know. Where do we have to go and what do we have to see? I'm counting on you people to help me out. This is called Traveling with Bruce. London Hotel, Tio, I'd love to know. Sharon, AARP might have some good advice about senior discounts. Oh, there's something. Of course, I'm not American, so. Captain Dave, hey, sadly, many of the cruise lines are utilizing a part of the gratuity charge as profit. Furthermore, mandatory gratuity takes away incentive for the service personnel to do their best. I agree. I totally agree with that. London Hotel Royal Horse Guards. Oh, that sounds interesting. Sharon, 92 thumbs up, Bruce. A mere 8 to go. Oh, this is good stuff. Montreux and Geneva are also beautiful. Jeannie, we'll catch up with you next Monday. Have a great week. Bye for now. You take care, Jeannie and Bill. Thank you so much for being here. You guys take good care of yourself. Yeah, we're thinking of. I would like to take the Glacier Express train ride, 8.5 hour sightseeing ride to San Moritz. Would like to do that in the excellence class. That would be kind of nice. That's the high end there. Double A and CAA might also have some good discounts, and there might be some ideas there. Brittany Anderson, hi Bruce, and all my moving date to Pensacola is May 24th, if I'm remembering correctly. Are you moving permanently to Pensacola for now, Brittany? Is that because your husband is being stationed there and you're both moving? Very exciting stuff. Welcome to the show tonight. It's great to have you here. Well, we'll see what's happening here. We're looking at all kinds of variables and possibilities for this trip coming up. We have the UK portion of the show. We have the Amsterdam portion of the show, the Switzerland portion of the show. It's a 6-week thing, 6.5 weeks. We would really like to, we'd like to see a lot, but also relax a lot. So spa treatments in Switzerland, they're on tap. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, can't believe it has been 6 weeks since I broke my foot, and you are back. And I'm glad to hear you are back. That cast is off, and you're good to go. Way to go. Cheers. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, folks. We'll see how this all works out. One last look at the thumbs up. We have 96 thumbs ups on this show right now. 78 people are here. We need only 4 more thumbs ups to break 100 today. That would be an accomplishment for this small an audience. If we could hit 100 thumbs ups, boy, that would be great. Help me out. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, find it, nail that thing for us. Smash the thumbs up button. Get us to 100, please. We have 111 people who have voted tonight on our poll question. Should all cruises include drinks, tips, and all food in their fares? Right now, 72% out of 111 are saying yes. 28% are saying no. And look at that thumbs up meter right there. Is that the prettiest little thing? That looks prettier than Greg Maddox. That looks prettier than Greg Maddox. 101 thumbs ups on this show. You guys are unbelievable. 102 now. Look at that. 102. We have annihilated 103. Annihilated the thumbs up button here with 103 thumbs ups. You beautiful people out there. Thank you so, so much. Getting us over the top into solidly the triple digits. I gotta love this. This is fantastic. Brittany's saying, I'm still in my boot for a few more days for sure, but may opt to be in it a little longer. Ark, sorry, just hit like. Thank you, buddy. 100 thumbs ups. We did it. How about some fireworks? That's a good idea. 102 now. Donnell, 100 plus thumbs ups. Yes. Bruce, you got to show off some fireworks. Let's show off some cruise ships and fireworks here. Well, watch this. Let's see if we can get this to work over here. Here we go. Here we go. Nice. How about some more fireworks? Let's see if I got some other fireworks here. I got this one right here. Let's check it out. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I even have a puppy dog. I mean, you gotta love a puppy dog. You gotta love a puppy dog. I mean, my goodness, when you get those 103 thumbs ups, you got to do hot puppy dog. 106 thumbs ups. Look at this. We're blowing the numbers out the door. It's incredible. Thank you all so much, so much. You still have the puppies? Oh, we had the puppy. Ark, we didn't go live much, but Andrea did an epic 2-hour live stream at sea when Carnival had their ship meet up at sea. 7 ships met up for their 50th. Met John and Hell too. Way to go, man! That must have been a great time. 106 thumbs ups. That is a cute puppy. It is. It's a cute puppy. Well, not bad at all. Folks, thank you, all of you, for being here tonight on this show. I appreciate it so much. Hopefully, when we get this all sorted out, we'll let you know where we're going to be, and then what we'll do is we'll start posting videos from the road, and we'll do these shows if we can from the road, and you can talk to us about what we're up to in Europe. If you have any questions about Europe, we'll answer them on the spot. But I'm looking forward to this. Long time no see, Sean Johnson. How you doing, Sean Johnson? It's been a while. Welcome. So cute. We have a min pin who is half dachshund. How about that? Are those cute or what? Thank you all so much for popping by to see me tonight and this week. Have a great week, everybody. Please stay healthy. Jen and I are doing exactly the same thing. We're trying our best to stay healthy as well. And we'll catch you next Monday at 7 o'clock for sponsor members and then 8 o'clock for this show. If you like watching stock markets in plain English, join me every morning, 8:30 Eastern, 3 hours. I go live 1 hour before the market starts, 2 hours into the stock market, talking about the stock market in plain English. 3 o'clock Eastern time, I'm on again every day, Monday to Friday, for about an hour and a quarter, the last hour of trading during the day. Stock markets in plain English with your buddy Uncle Bruce on Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you guys so much, Sharon. I'll see you in 2 weeks. You got it. Have a great trip to the Big Easy. Kevin says bye too. He's chained to the computer writing. Kevin, make it happen, buddy. Ark totally couldn't spell Dotson. I couldn't do it. JB, bye-bye, Brucey. Take care, JB. All the best to you. All of you out there, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Have a good night. Great week. We'll see you next Monday. Otherwise, we'll catch you on the Stock Markets with Bruce channel. Bye for now. We'll see you.